Alright, so for today I will show you how to pull, which is the opposite of backstocking, stuff that should go to the floor. What I'm pulling now is going to be the autofill, which drops every morning. For instance, we're an early morning store, so our process starts at 4 a.m. So based on the sales from yesterday, it's going to trigger batches to pull whatever we sold. The autofill is generally about a 40% trigger. So you'd have to sell 40% of an item for it to come out in a batch. And again, I'm using the LPDA. So same main menu. I go to replenishment, which is number 2, and then work batches is number 3. And then you're going to see autofill right there at the top. There's 54 batches total, which is pretty small. Usually it's around 61. So depending on your sales, and depending on if we do manual calves, which at my store I like for the closers to do manual calves, which triggers at 30% trigger. So then that way we could fill the floor more. So if I go into autofill right here, you're going to see different fill groups. So obviously some of them are pretty self-explanatory: women's, toys, sports. So right now I'm in the produce cooler, which is the fill group for that would be Pro 1. So I want to go down to Pro 1. So I don't see any produce in there. Let's see. Well, I don't see any produce in there, so that means the manual calf pretty much pulled all that it should have. So, but I do have meat, which I'll go ahead and pull that. So meat will be right next door. Alright, so this is the meat cooler. So I'm going to jump into the batch that says meat. And then it's going to say it includes these departments, which is the department number for meat, and then you want to apply a location. Okay. And it's going to tell you to go to certain locations. So you're going to see 01M, which is meat. 300 is the room number, the aisle number, and then B31. So for instance, this is A, B. So you're going to go to B31, and you're going to scan that location, and then you're going to scan the items in the Waco. And it's going to double beep whenever it wants you to pull it. Okay, so obviously there's only one type of item in there, and it's going to say however many you need to pull. So it says pull 5. So I type in 5, and that's it for the meat. So that's a pretty small batch. Another one. And when you pull meat, you got to keep in mind you got to keep raw food separated. So obviously poultry goes at the bottom because it cooks at a higher temperature, which is 165. You have your ground beef, which cooks at less than, or just about 145, and then your steak, which cooks at about 135, depending on how you like it, and then the ready-to-cook meat goes on the top for food safety reasons. And so now I'm going to look for meat cooler, which is raw meat, not ready-to-cook meat. So it's going to say go to EO4, which obviously the raw meat gets stored over here. There is no Wacos for raw meat because you don't want to avoid cross-contamination. So you go to EO4, which is over here. Scan each barcode right here. And then I'll scan that one. And that one. So then it says pull 4. So you want to... So there's 4 in here. So pork goes in the middle, and it's going to say, did you pull all from this location? Yes, I pulled the whole case. Now it's going to say go to FO3. So I'm going to go to that. and it wants 2 ribeye steaks. So I type in 2, and then it says, are you pulling all from this location? No, because there's still another case of it. So I hit no, and batch is complete. And I put the open in that Waco right there. And that's pretty much it. It's pulling. It's pretty simple. What I gave you is some examples of really small batches, which is the result of doing manual calves at night, which definitely helps us out in the morning by getting more efficient, faster pulls. And then the backroom team, I have them push for about an hour and a half a day, and they still get everything done on time. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's basically how you pull a batch, and stay tuned for more. I'll give you some more tips and tricks along the way. Alright?